A lot of women are refusing to marry and have kids because a lot of us are realizing that men are liabilities. The reason why it is free for women to get into most places and they charge men is because women are actual assets and they bring value to the space, and men are the exact opposite and they are liabilities. Now, if you take an intellectual girly and you try to feed her the idea of marriage and kids, she will never understand it. Not logically, more like emotionally and biologically. No one in their right mind would willingly take on liability.
A few reasons why Black women are not getting married in America. Let's go. Number one, the mortality rate of Black men to Black women is higher. So by the time Black men get to the age of marrying, there are actually less Black men to marry. If you factor in things like gay men, already married men, the amount of Black men that are in prison, men that aren't your type, and homeless men, the number shrinks even lower. Number two, you choose not to date outside your race. With the previous point, obviously there aren't enough Black men to go around. So while Black love and Black power is the goal, it's just statistically unrealistic. Lastly, you refuse to date online. Dating online is one of the best ways to bring a bunch of single people together. So while you're expecting the Amazon delivery man to be the man of your dreams, you might be right, but he may be located in another state. So the odds that Mr. Right is going to knock on your front door, slim. Get online, sis.
I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I'm not getting married unless it's fucking financially beneficial. Like, I'm not getting married. I'm not getting married. Like, I don't know about that shit. I used to want to be married so bad. That's all I ever dreamed of. Now it's just like, them married men be the main ones in your inbox, the main ones trying to talk to you, take you out, date you. And of course, it seems like they treat you the best because they're gonna give you whatever you want, so you don't go tell their wife. Like, no, we not dealing with that shit. I don't want to fucking, I don't, y'all. I don't want to be no slave. I want to be no slave. No, I want to cook your food every day. No, I don't. No, I don't want to. I don't want to. I want to have sex with you every day. I don't want to. If it's not monetarily beneficial, I'm not doing that shit. I'm not doing that shit. The difference is I'm okay. I'm okay with having sex out of marriage and having my way and having fun and dating. I'm okay with that, baby. Mm-mm.
I want to get married at 28. I want to get married at 30. I want to get married at 26. These are different things that my age mate have been saying. But never a day have I been able to relate to this kind of things as I don't desire marriage. There's not a time that I've sat down and said, I want to be married at so time. I have never desired marriage before. I've never had a boyfriend before. So I don't really know how to do all this relationship thingy. Or maybe when I get older, I will want to get married and all. But it has still not come to me. You see all those things whereby girls go and they spend the week or they spend the weekend with a boyfriend. I've never done stuff like that before. So all those things like they cringe me. Do you understand? Like spending your entire activity with someone, it just cringes me. Oh, this is my girlfriend. Oh, that's my girlfriend. Rai is my girlfriend. Like uh-uh. And you see this thing that girls cook for men. Oh my god. Oh Jesus, friend. No, I can't do that. Not like I don't want to do it, but I'm so shy. Like if I have to cook for a man, he better not be in the premises. Like get out. I'll call you when the food is ready. Like I am so shy. Like how do you cook for a man and then he's sitting there and then you bring the food and say serve it and you say, oh baby, test. Don't get me wrong. I said I love men. Last boy that tried to be in a committed relationship with me, we almost ended up in the police station. When I see married couples, I admire them. I'm like, oh, you guys are so cute. But when I think about the fact that they wake up side to side, don't you feel shy? So you just carry on like that for the rest of your life? One, two, three, close your eyes. Don't use me and say single. Oh, better go and look for man. Bye, guys.
Well, a lot of black women started realizing that marriage, especially in the traditional sense, wasn't always set up to benefit them. Now people are looking for the benefit of being married. Historically, women were expected to give up their independence, dreams, and even the basic decision making power to the men once they got married. For black women who had already fought so hard just to gain freedom and autonomy after generations of struggle, the idea of stepping into a marriage that might feel like another set of chains does not sit right with them. Why give up hard earned freedom just to play house in a system that often demanded submission but didn't guarantee the love and the loyalty or support in return? That's what they're saying. We have to give you submission as a female. You want submission, but you don't want to give loyalty. You don't want to guarantee love. You don't want to guarantee support. Instead, many women begin choosing or are choosing themselves, focusing on careers, personal growth, raising kids on their own terms, right? Or simply enjoying life without being tied down. I can understand it. There's joy in that. There's some utility in that, right? It's not that they don't value relationships or companionship or anything like that, but they'd rather uh, not sign up for something that historically has left women trapped. And I can understand that. In plain terms, they'd rather stay free than risk being legally and emotionally shackled to a situation where their needs and dreams and happiness come second. Who the hell wants to deal with coming second all the time? For them, staying unmarried isn't about rejecting love, it's about protecting their freedom.
I'm sorry, y'all. I hate to be the one who say it, but I really feel like modern men ruin my desire for marriage. And that's just is what it is. Like, y'all, tell me why I'm talking to this guy. He's super consistent, charming, attentive. Like, y'all, found time to talk to me from sun up to sundown every single day for months. Never mentioned that he had a fiance. Never knew he was engaged or anything. So, why did I find out 2 days after us having unprotected that he was getting married? Y'all, when I tell y'all I don't have trust in no man whatsoever, like I just, I heard too much stories. Like,
Is it just me as an eldest daughter, or do you, as an eldest daughter, feel like maybe marriage is just too much responsibility? Especially when you're the eldest daughter who's healing and who's growing, and you're hanging up your cape and you're deciding to pour into you and focus on you, and you don't really want much of that caregiving responsibility anymore for other people outside of like your kids.
Mm.
And like once your kids get to a certain point, you're just like, I am done being the dependable one. I'm done being the reliable one for everybody else. I'm about to take that energy and pour it into me. And if I get a husband, men are just so needy. Even the good ones, they're still needy, and they still require a level of like caregiving as a wife. And I don't know, y'all. I just be running from marriage. And I tried it 75 days, but I tried it. I just don't know if I want to be in the role of a wife as his eldest daughter. Like I think I want too much freedom for that.
I'm gonna tell you why I think marriage is a scam. So I've never wanted to be married pretty much like since I was a little girl, right? Here's how it started. When I was like in 5th grade, I was hanging out with like 5 different black ladies from church, right? And they asked me, baby, what do you want to do when you grow up? Then I said, I want to be married because I was programmed that way, right? And then they said, baby, don't ever get married. Don't ever get married. It's better to stay single. It's not worth it. All 5 of them. And that stuck into my head because I was a smart little girl. I was like, wait, 5 old ladies are married. They've been married for like 20 or 30 years. They're all saying it's horrible? Huh. And then as I grew up in a household where my dad is evil. He's an abusive, narcissistic person. If there was a mascot for toxic masculinity and misogyny, it's my father. And I'm not even exaggerating. He hates women. He grew up in a single mother household, so he resents his mom for his dad leaving, and he also has like crazy mommy issues. But he also has like daddy issues where he's like he craves male validation. Like it's weird if you watch him, he's like ears perk up when a man comes around. Like, my dad worked for a bit, but then he ended up like he's a fucking alcoholic. He started getting so drunk he wouldn't even go to work. He didn't even work for like most of my life. He did nothing. The only thing he would do was water the grass, and he expected us to be like, yes, you watered the grass. That's what you did. You did that, king. But my mom was freaking cleaning the house, sweeping and mopping, doing the dishes every day, cooking the food every day, buying the groceries, taking care of the kids, going out, like going to work and coming home, doing everything past the traditional wife because she was doing the financial load. And my dad was sitting at home doing nothing. Then he would get mad and act like we were entitled, like he was entitled for us to worship him because he wanted to be the king of the house. Like he's like, I'm a man here, so I'm the boss. You guys need to respect me. It's like I always felt like you a fucking bum, nigga. You don't do shit. You ain't shit. Mom does everything, and you're trying to act like you're the boss and you're in charge. And that's how I view marriage. That's how most marriages operate. I swear to you. Most of the men in the most typical relationships that aren't healthy, right? They operate in this place where men barely contribute anything, and the woman does all this unseen labor, like cleaning the house, taking the kids, doing all the shit. But the man can't even fucking call the doctor. The man doesn't even know his own kid's teacher's name and shit like that. But he wants to be praised for being the king, the boss of the house. You're not the boss of the house. That woman is the boss of the house. But by society standards, we're supposed to act like you're the boss for what? You literally don't do shit. Or like in with my house, my dad did nothing. You did nothing, bitch, and you act entitled. Fuck you, nigga. He sucks. I don't like him. He's the reason. My parents are the reason why I never want to be married. Why would I want to be trapped in a situation with somebody who disrespects me, takes all my resources, uses me for my body, uses all of my life force energy, and does nothing to contribute? And let's say if he was a traditional man, he worked? He brought home money? Nigga, that doesn't even sound like a good deal. You could do that for yourself. You could bring home your own money and then clean up your own mess. And nobody else will be there adding to it and then taking the credit for all your work. That's why I think marriage is a scam.
For a very, very long time, Black women didn't really have the same range of options that are open today. Or the range of options that are open for them today. In earlier generations, right, marriages was seen as the only respectable route for women. And people are trying to push that today, regardless of the race. Respectable if you don't get married, right? But for Black women, especially, odds were stacked, and they are stacked against us differently. They were navigating not just gender expectations, but also racism and economic struggles and stereotypes that often made marriage less of a fairy tale and more of a gamble. Better access to education, careers, financial independence. Black women don't need marriage to survive, neither do white women. They can choose partners, stay single, or build families all on their own terms without being judged as harshly as they have been before. Women you don't have to get married. Meanwhile, in the white communities, marriage has always been promoted as a milestone. The picture-perfect suburban house, the husband who brings home the paycheck, the wife who raises the kids, this was pushed as the ideal. Even when white women began questioning that role, and they're doing that now, they're doing that in droves now, many still held on to the hope that marriage could be fulfilling because society kept saying it was a prize. Marriage is the prize. The women don't see marriage as a prize now. Black women didn't get the same messaging. Marriage wasn't sold as their ticket to stability in the same way. We were told to go to school, to get a degree, to get a job. In fact, social and economic realities often showed us that depending on a man could mean more struggle, more headache, more heartbreak. Fast forward to today, and the conversation looks completely different from what it did when I was young, getting married. Black women are realizing that marriage, as it's often presented, doesn't guarantee happiness, loyalty. Instead of hoping that a husband will bring stability, they've seen too many examples of marriages that are toxic, filled with men cheating, financial stress, poorness, or emotional neglect. Peace has become the real prize. And if a man or a marriage can't offer that, many women are walking away from the table, black and white, the whole deal. To them, peace looks like controlling their own household, managing their own money, or not having to argue with somebody about getting basic respect or them keeping their dick in their pants. Take careers as an example. A black woman these days you hear a lot of black men online talking about, oh, you can't deal with a nurse, you can't deal with a lawyer, you can't deal with X, Y, and Z. But black women who are nurses and lawyers, business owners, they can afford their own home. They can afford to invest in kids' future without waiting for a husband to provide. In the past, women were told they needed a man to get ahead. Today, a lot of black women look around and see that they've already achieved those things on their own. And when they compare that piece of independence to the stress of potentially dealing with a partner who cheats, lies and steals, disrespects, puts their hands on you, refuses to pull his weight, or just plain old don't respect her, why trade freedom for that headache? No woman wants to do that. Another example is friendships and community. Okay, many women now build strong support systems through sisterhood, extended family, social circles. that provide the emotional connection that marriage used to promise. Because we women are social. We can get all the socialization, the talking, camaraderie. We can get all of that without being married. We might vacation with our friends, our girlfriends, raise our kids with the help of relatives, or even co-own property with brothers and sisters and siblings or friends. These support networks show that love and companionship don't have to come wrapped in a marriage blanket. For many Black women, that realization has been liberating. No, that realization for all women has been liberating. It means they don't have to settle just to avoid being alone. They don't have to settle for whoever they don't want just to say they have a man. Okay? At the end of the day, the shift is about priorities. Where earlier generations might have prioritized marriage because it was expected or necessary, today's Black women are prioritizing peace, joy, self-respect, loyalty. Marriage is no longer the automatic goal. I'm sorry, it ain't. It's an option. It's a far core option, but only if it enhances their lives instead of chaining them to it. Nobody wants to get married when men keep saying on these platforms, men can exercise their options. Men, you can't depend on men to be faithful. No woman wants to go over there with that. No woman wants to go over there with that. In the plainest terms, if it doesn't bring peace, ain't no woman wanting that. And right now, too many men, too many marriages don't offer that peace. So women are choosing freedom, self-sufficiency, and happiness on their own terms. Sometimes without a man and sometimes with a man. But marriage is definitely off the table.